and welcome to day 13 of the Crafty Kit Company Advent Kit. Welcome to my personal firework display, as you can see behind. Rather loving that going on. So let me see, let's get down to business. Yeah. Day 13. So firstly, Feliz Navidad, which I believe is Spanish for Merry Christmas. So yes, Merry Christmas to all us. I think I may have pronounced that wrong because there's like an E, Feliz Navidad, and I wasn't really sure if that was I or E or yes, Google wasn't very helpful today. So anyway, answers on a postcard. But importantly, today we are doing a polar bear. And the amazing thing is we've literally got just two colours with this. So we really are going in black and white. So, and I have to say, I do absolutely love a polar bear. And I've just realised I left something slightly over there. So I'm going to stretch over there in a minute when I get to that bit. So let's go to the instructions. We've got our instructions again. Oh no, I'm going to have to go over. I'm going to have to, once again, get rid of the pretty backdrop. Ooh. Let's have a little go here. I wasn't very prepared today to do that, was I? There we go. Off. Marvellous. But what I do like is to have something on, don't I? So let me get those on. There we go. Lovely. And for my own pleasure. But then back onto them. Brilliant. Okay. So let me get rid of that off my screen. There we go. That's better. Right. Okay. So here we go with the instructions. So not complicated, I would say. There seem to be a fair few instructions, but I would say on this one, it's just because there's little details. So I will give you some tips or more some thoughts and directions on it. But if you see him there, and also if I lift him up here, you know, he's not ginormous. He looks like I think he's looking up. He's definitely looking up. Perhaps he's a friend of the moon gazing hare. But anyway, yes, he's not huge, but obviously we've got his limbs and his body and his head and his little facial details to do. And so I shall give some, as I say, directions, little hints towards that in a second. Firstly, the amount of core. So this is the biggest amount of core that I've said so far. And so this is 15 grams. So all the other projects I've done have been 10 grams. So for 10 grams, we wrapped it round 5 and a bit times, didn't we? I believe. So this time, if we add 2.5, so 5, so 8 times. So go 8 times around your hand. So when I say round your hand, as I said before, let's go from that way this time. So if you start off with it there and bring it round, that's 1. So start with it in your hand and bring it round again. 2, 3. Go around 8 times, then you should have enough, because you're going to split them off, because there's he's got a very small head, hasn't he? He's got a very teeny weeny head and body and limbs. So I would suggest, in fact, what do I say? Let's look at the instructions. That would make sense. Yes, I suggest you divide it into 2/3. There you go. So that 1/3 will be the head and the limbs, and the 2/3 will be the body. That makes sense. Thank goodness for that. Right. So thoughts on, as I say, I don't think it's overly complicated. We're making a cone shape for the body, and then you're rolling like little sausage shapes for the legs. But we're very much working in triangles. So the cone, you know, can be seen as a triangular shape. When it comes to the head, that top bit is flat. You know, think about it, from his nose to the back is flat, but it's still a triangle. And if you look at the side, well, there you go. Even though that's flat at the top, it's still a triangle. So it's very much working in triangles. And when it comes to the features, really good hint, tip from Nicki the other day, when doing the black details on faces, is just wet your fingers when you're rolling it up to do the eyes, or, you know, taking off the smallest of pieces to do the mouth. And if you just wet it, it will just bring those fibres in. Because, I mean, that's my biggest issue, is having fibres everywhere. So that will just help control those little flyaways, which is perfect. Brilliant tip. Now, in the certainly in the instructions and everything I've done, I've not done any detail on the paws, on things like that, and you can decide to add that. I decided to keep him just very much in the white, as it were. But, you know, you could actually give him these little feet details, and you could add little black paw prints. You could even do some little claws if you wanted to. So you could really make him your own. And another thing, and this is where I'm going to stretch across. There we go. And she's back. Another thing that I wanted to do was, I thought, he's obviously going to be very cold out there in the polar. I'm just going to tie up his little scarf. I know you can't see him, but just so that I can show you his little scarf there. There you go. Giving him a little scarf. Move that round. How nice would that? You could even make him a little hat. Keep him nice and warm in his polar regions, as it were. And there you go. There he is. I just, yeah, take your time. Take your time with him. Now, I am going to put him on the wreath again. Now, let me show you what I was going to do. This is a bigger wreath that I've got this time. And in fact, I haven't done yesterday's yet, which is the mistletoe. And I was going to put the mistletoe on the top, and then I was going to put him in there. And what I might do is just bring his little leg down, you know, so that he's in a really nice seating position, and have the little mistletoe up. And that will be, I think that will be lovely by itself, because he's quite a lovely fella. I do love a polar bear. Who doesn't? There you go. So, yes, there you go. Day 13. I think I have actually been succinct today. I'll get a gold star from Joe. So there you go. And don't worry if you haven't done all the projects every day. I mean, the good thing is that all of the lives that we're all doing and coming on each day, they're still there for you to go back to and look when you do get round to doing it. You know, you might find, I mean, I don't know what your Christmas is like, but you might find a few hours to yourself to do some needle felting over Christmas or in the new year, and you can come back and listen to us tell you about the little tips and things. But meanwhile, enjoy, and I will see you in a few days.
Hi everyone, hope everybody's well. Now, I'm not trying to compete, but I'm a complete technophobe, so this is my version of my festive look. Day 15. Let's look. U-log. This, I believe, is Finnish. Sorry, I have no idea how to pronounce that. I'm not going to even attempt it. This is a really straightforward make. We need white wool, some brown wool, some dark brown wool. These are really similar, but the dark wool is for definition, so try not to get them muddled up. And we have the green and the red for the leaves and berries. Really straightforward make. Stephanie's explanation the other day for the polar bear was just brilliant, and it's something I do whenever I'm going to make something. I look for shapes. If you get the shape and you get the proportions, you're on to a winner. With this one, it's sausage shapes, a couple of sausage shapes. That's all you're looking for. And when I started thinking about this, in a lot of my makes, everything is equated to food. And I didn't realise that until Stephanie was explaining with triangles and things. Mine, it's sausage shape or pea shape, grape shape. Even I think the seahorse for next has an egg shape in it. So that's where my mind goes, food. Like I say, this is a straightforward make. My little tip for the swirls, you need slither of white wool, give it a good twist, and maybe again wet it just to keep all those fibres nice and tight. Another good tip is to, when you're doing the swirls, pin it with the needle right in the middle and then swirl it round using another needle to keep it in place. Apart from that, it's quite straightforward. Loving seeing all your makes, absolutely brilliant. I'm so impressed that some of you are keeping up each day. It's a busy time, but I hope you're enjoying it. Speak to you soon.
Hello, it's December the 16th already. Can you believe it? I can't believe this month has gone so quickly. And I haven't finished my Christmas shopping. I haven't sent any Christmas cards. Put the tree up, but I haven't put the rest of the boxes of decorations away. Yeah, feeling a little bit like I'm running behind. Anyway, been quite busy. I'm flapping this around because it is actually, got this from the lovely Judy a while back, and it says, "Hi Joe, happy Moomin Day." And she sent this to me with the amazing cross stitch samples that she'd done, the Moomin cross stitch samples. It's not easy to say. And I keep this on my desk downstairs. Anyway, I've got this with me today because it's quite good to show you how it can demonstrate today's Advent gift. So yes, it is the 16th. It looks the wrong way round, but I know it will be the right way round once the video is processed. Everything's back to front when you look at the camera. So in today's, so quite noisy, in today's envelope you have this cute little stand, little Christmas tree stand, and it does have a card in it that says Merry Christmas, and we did have these designed. Not that it's anything special, but you could use it as a little gift tag if you wanted to. So these little stands are really nice for popping photographs, special cards, postcards, anything you like into. And watch me as I fiddle around with this, try and get it to go in properly. Okay, good enough, good enough. But it's just a nice way of displaying a special card. You can have it on your shelf for your mantelpiece, or a special photograph. And yeah, that's our gift for today. Hope you're all enjoying your Advent kits, loving seeing all of the makes, loving Steph and Nicki's videos of their makes as well. It's just, they just get better and better. Each one they do, just fabulous. And actually, that's a point. I'll make it live now. Steph has put together a compilation of videos of the first 12 days. I think they might exclude a couple of the gift days, but the first 12 days, she put it all together as one compilation, and it's going to be up there on YouTube, which will be really good for people who have missed a few days, or people who are just wanting to kind of recap, or even those people who bought an Advent kit this year with a view to doing it next year. And I know that there are one or two of you who have done that. So the video will be up on YouTube for you, and there will be a second video with the second 12 days as well, obviously once we've had those 12 days, if you follow me. Right, that's all from me today. I will probably see you tomorrow. Have a lovely weekend if I don't see you, and catch up with you in the group. Okay, bye bye, and goodbye from Moomin Troll. I'm all tongue tied today. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I need an early night tonight. Bye bye.
Merry Christmas, everyone. We're getting closer and closer. And I've pulled out all the stops with my background today. As you can see, I've got snow. Well, we've got snow outside here as well as inside. And I've tried to have this hat so that I can sit here in exactly this place, and it doesn't really look like I'm wearing it, but I can pretend it looks like I'm wearing it. But then when I wobble out, you can see I've got a little halo. The felting angel. Maybe not. Anyway, so in case you haven't noticed, I've got a bit of a theme going on, but let's do it in the proper order, Steph. Proper order. There's an order to these things. Okay, so we are on day 17 of the Crafty Kit Company Advent Kit. Okay, day 17, and I've opened my card, and the greeting is in Swedish, so wait for it, brace yourself, cover your ears if you're a sensitive soul. Good jul. Yeah, good jul. So I should remember that next time I go to IKEA, and I no doubt will insult somebody, but we'll give it a go. And here we go, day 17, and I'm going to try my best to keep my background on for as long as possible today, because I love my background, and it's better than just having my blank wall behind me. So there we go. Good jul and baubles. If you hadn't noticed my little thing going on here, wonderful little baubles. And that is what you've got today to do, is to make a wonderful bauble. Now, the baubles that you have is, and I'm going to try and cover this up now because I've added some bits and I don't want to show you just yet. But you've got your bauble here, okay, which is made from 100% wool. Jo gets them made specially by her partners in Nepal. So they're beautiful and really lovely to felt with, okay? So looking at the picture here, and also in the book, does the book come up a bit? I'm determined. See, I have to sort of stay behind here. There we go. Sorry about this, guys. I am going to have to turn it off in a minute. Yes, I am going to have to turn it off. It's no good. And then I'll bring it back on when I can. It's only for me, to be honest, just because it's my only Christmas decoration. So let's go to virtual background. Let's go to none. Let's get some filter in. Let's get the lights on. So you can't see my angel now. Ooh. Anyway, so we'll stick with this, and then we'll go back to my filter to my background when I can. Because let's be honest, you're not here to see my glorious background. It's to find out about the Advent kit. It's not all about me, you know. Right, okay, so here we go. I can actually talk to you properly. So as you can see, as well as on the lovely card that you've got, which is another great way of seeing the baubles. It's like doing a 2D painting on a 3D surface, because your 3D surface has been created for you, which is brilliant, because that's going to save you so much time. You haven't got to fill a huge amount of wall into that hard shape just so that you can decorate it. You can get straight on with the decorating, and if you need to get more of the baubles, you can get them through Joe and the Crafty Kit Company. Perfect. And as is suggested in the instructions, if you want to do something like I've done here with my moon gazing hair, I did actually sketch it out. I sketched it out. I got the dimensions of the bauble, sketched out what I was going to do, and then cut out a little paper template so that I could actually go round that with a line and then fill it in with the wall. And then I added the beautiful blue sky and snow falling. And the thing is, because it's white to start with, you could just leave it white and then add a beautiful decoration like these trees. Now, I'm not sure if Joe or Nicki did these trees, but they're beautiful. And they're obviously just hand done rather than through a stencil or anything. But that beautiful dark green and then the sage green against the white background is just beautiful. And with no extra additional wall added to the white, because the white background's great. And then I'll get the picture up because I think you can see the more Scandinavian, the random Scandinavian bauble. It's much, what I've done there is obviously I've left where the white is white strip, I've left it. I've added the red strips and then just done that quite simplistic pattern, but it's, it resembled a kind of a knitted jumper. It's, the sort of Norwegian style, let's say. The hair slightly more complicated because I had to do a little drawing and then put it on, and then I added the little moon. Boom. Now, another idea, because I'm not a brilliant drawer, and that took all my skills really to do that little hair. But what you can do is get the cookie cutters. And I found a wonderful little cookie cutter in town of a little gnome. Yeah, make sure brown now. Okay. And what I did was I started off felting it onto the mat nice and thinly. Now, I know Jo has said that quite often what she will do when she's going to do something like that, she'll put a piece of felt over it to protect the mat. But sometimes if I'm somewhere and I don't have a piece of felt, or to be honest, I just can't be bothered to go and get some. I sometimes just find whatever I've got. And this is actually a J cloth. Okay. And I just put that over, felt onto that so that once I'm ready to take the piece off, I can just pull that off. And then it's a lot easier to actually pull what you felted off of the piece of cloth or felt or whatever it is that you're using. So let me show you. I did that with the gnome. And this is what I came up with, this little gnome. And then I added a couple of legs. And I did bulk him out a bit. So he's sort of pretty sort of 3D-ish. So once I'd done him basically, I then put him on. I obviously had to neaten him up a bit because, once I'd taken him off, he'd lost his shape. But then I was actually able to use put it on just to check he looked good. But it meant I didn't have to be able to draw, which is cracking. And then I got this one. And I did the moose on the back. And what's quite amusing is the legs from the gnome, you can still see them. And so it actually looks like the moose has got legs as well. And I thought, oh, that's a little added. But what Steve said, my partner, in his normal, really, really helpful manner, was it actually looks like the gnome is stuck to the moose's bottom. Well, I think all I can say is boys will be boys, because nothing more to be said. But I love the idea that you could actually turn this into a rather fat reindeer. You could just have it as a little gnome stuck on, and you could even put like a little chimney here and some smoke. And have his little house back. Do whatever you want. And also, I did stumble across very small little cookie cutters. I think it was in the works or something in town, one of the little shops, which would just be perfect for making little shapes for putting on and decorating. So basically, it can be as elaborate as you want, or you can just colour it a beautiful colour. And then hang it from your tree or wherever you're going to hang it from. So I also think you could hang them within the little wreaths. Now, this is a small wreath. You could obviously get the bigger wreath and do that, but it does just fit in. So he could hang quite nicely there. And actually, you know, it's double-sided, isn't it? So even if it swings around. So that's quite nice in itself, as in hanging around the house. Because you might have a small tree and these baubles might be just a little bit too big. And then it just gives you the ability to have an individual one. But the hanging on the moon gazing hair, you see I've actually put some coloured thread through. And what I've actually done is I've used a needle, a long needle. I think they call them doll making needles, don't they? Because they're incredibly long. Can you see that? Quite long. And it goes all the way through, and actually I could have threaded a nice thin piece of ribbon through there, so I could have actually done something much thicker and basically pop that back in before I stab my hand on it, thread it through the top, bottom, thread it back up again, and then you've got really nice and secure. And as in the instructions, if you haven't got the needle and you've got yourself a glue gun and you just want to glue it on top, why not? And then cover it up with a little decoration of, well, say like the holly. I mean, in fact, even the holly and the mistletoe that you've done earlier on in the kit, you could add those to the top and that could hide anything like that as well. But yeah, I mean, be adventurous, or just be incredibly simple. I mean, I actually think the, you know, the Scandinavian pattern is a nice, simple pattern, geometric, which actually I find really quite calm to do little shapes like that. And obviously I haven't added here, but you should add glitter. I mean, who wouldn't? Yeah. So anyway, there you go. Baubles, delightful. And lovely as presents, lovely as just decorations, put on the tree, say, put within the wreaths, whatever you want to do with them. The world is your oyster, as they say. Yeah, I think that just about covers it. And I will also say, I know Joe mentioned it yesterday, that we're doing a compilation of all these. So if you've just jumped onto this one and thought, oh, okay, I'd really like to catch up on all the others. If you go to the Crafty Kit Company YouTube channel, you'll see that there's a compilation of 1 to 12. And if you've caught this before the 24th, there will be a compilation of 13 to 24. So you'll be able to catch up on them all. And I'll tell you an amusing story without giving anything away. I was showing Steve, my partner, the compilation of the 1 to 12. And number 12 is a gift. And either we didn't do a video that day, or I decided to just do a picture of the gift and put the name of the gift on that particular day. And Steve watched it all the way through. And at the end, he said, what happened to? And he said the name of the gift because he thought that was a person. If you haven't seen number 12, go have a look at it and it will make you laugh. And actually, not a bad name. So I'm just trying to think how I can use that name in my made up mind of silly little games that I play with myself. Anyway, so what amused me, it amused me immensely. I'm going to put my pretty background on now because I'm blabbing without having to show you anything. And let's be honest, it gives me great joy. There we go. How lovely. Yes, anyway, so that amused me. So I don't want to actually say the name just in case you haven't opened your bag 12. We don't want to do any spoilers or anything. So there you go. Anyway, so hopefully that's given you some ideas of what you can do with your baubles. And as always, very much want to see them in the Craft Your Way to Happiness Facebook group, so we can share ideas basically, and enjoy everybody else's creations. So I think that's it. I will be back in, I think, 3 or 4 more days. I've got just one more time I'm coming on, I think, before Christmas. So I look forward. But yes, good jul. And I'll see you in a few days.
Hi everyone, day 19, we're getting there. Let's see what we've got. I'm at my workbench today and it's a shocking mess. I really need to tidy this up. It's Christmas. And it's the orange slice. I believe this is Italian. Again, really straightforward. We've been really generous with the felt for this. So you could make 2 or 3, you could make different sizes, completely up to you. So you could have an orange slice, clementine slice, whatever you like. But do keep some felt, because you'll need it further down the line for another project. Can't tell you any more than that. This one I made with about a 10 centimetre square of felt. It's easier if you do the lines on the square. So do this first before you cut it into a circle. And you're drawing the segments, and it's really simple. You just kind of fold the square in half, draw a line, draw it in the other direction, fold it in the other direction, another line, and then diagonally. And then you'll get your equal segments. It just gives a better finish if you have it equal. I think in the instructions I've said to fold it into a small square so that you draw around, and that'll give you the circle. You can use a glass or whatever you like. Just make sure you have it right in the centre, so the circle is going round equally around the segments. As I say, it just gives a better finish. And my tip, so actually you need white wool, you need orange wool, and you need the orange blend wool. With the white wool, you cover the lines. You're just following the lines, gently needle felting in, and you'll find when you turn over, you'll be able to see where the lines go on the other side. And then you put the white all the way around. And after that, it's just colouring in. You're using the orange blend for the fleshy part, and then this to go around the outside. As I say, we've been quite generous, so you could make a few. I believe there is something in upcoming bags that you could add to the orange segment to make it into a nice decoration. But I hope that helps. This one, I've just put a bead on it. Up to you. Hope you have fun with this. Hope everything's going well. We're getting through them. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Hello and welcome to day 21 of the Crafty Kit Company Advent Kits. 21, hey? Not long to go. So whether you've kept up or you're just watching these videos, I'm going to come back to it later. We're nearly there. So today, let's get straight to it. Today, now this is a difficult one, obviously, for me. The language, I'll try my very best. But so today is the candlestick. Oh, okay, let's get that across, make sure. Could just keep I will mention before I go on, this is my favourite background. I know I've had it before, but I just thought I'm going to do it again because it's my favourite. Baubles and all. Okay, so up again, right, that side. So the candlestick. And that very difficult language, English, and we wish you a Merry Christmas. Oh, thank you, Joe, for giving me the Merry Christmas one. Anyway, so yes, I did this very much as the kind of wee Willy Winky candlestick, old-fashioned candlestick, because I thought it symbolises for me the sort of candles we would put on the trees, or the fake candles we would put on the trees as lights and things. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous. So I thought I was going to try and emulate that. So here we go with the piece in my hand. Don't worry, I will get rid of the backdrop in a second. Oh yes. Oh, I think my little flame just went down there. There we go. Just twiddle that at the top so it comes together. Okay, so I think the backdrop is going to be a little bit distracting now. I've got something else which is even more distracting later, but let me get myself to the correct place. Oh, I seem to be flitting about all over the place here. Okay, virtual background, go away. There we go. Done. Okay, I will come on to little special avatar later. Okay, so here we go. So now I can move it wherever I want and we can see it nicely against my quite clear background. But that will be very good in Strictly Come Dancing, but Craig wouldn't like that with my thumb sticking up. Anyway, so there we go. Very much the traditional, even with the little handle and everything. So tips and everything so that we don't get nervous about creating a piece, which, you know, might on first thought and reflection think, oh my goodness, that's a lot of fiddly things to do. But no, not really. We've got 3 circles, and you've got one circle, which is this big plate. Then you've got the medium circle, which is there, and the tiny circle, which is at the top. And apart from that, you've got one column up the middle, and then we just create piping, which goes around the edge of this one, around the edge here, to create the little details. So providing you had a bit of a practice when you made your drumsticks for making wrapping around. I mean, you don't have to do it that way. I'll give you another way to do it. But if you want some more practice to do the wraparound cocktail stick or your felting needle to create that roll, then this is the one for you. But as you do have quite a long piece to do, i.e. you need to go all the way around here, you could even just take, let me grab some wool, you could even just, take some of the wool and just start rolling it in your hands. Even just wet it slightly and roll it. And you will start to create a bit of a sausage anyway, and then you can put it down on your mat and actually felt it a bit more. But I do think if you create it by wrapping it round either your cocktail stick or your needle, which I will show you again in a minute, you'll actually get it much stronger like this. This is actually quite a strongly now felted thing together, and very little felting on my part to do that. Now, firstly, let's talk about the circles that we're going to do, 3 of them, and in my notes. So there's one 6 centimetre one 3.5 centimetre one, and one 2 centimetre one. So if you just made yourself a little template, this is the 6 centimetre one. And, as you can see, that's not exactly nice and smooth. It doesn't need to be. Just your basic 6 centimetres and your other ones. Okay. Then notice I'm still using my J cloth. Lay some of the wool, and this is the rust wool. I probably should have shown you my little, these are the 3 colours. So we've got our rusty foxy, which is, I thought it kind of gave it that sort of brass copper type look of the candlestick, very vintage. We've got the white, which is going to be actually for the candlestick, and the yellow for the flame. And you can even add a little bit of red in there on the flame if you want to, just to give it a little flickering effect. Okay, so starting with the rust fox, whatever you want to call it, just make sure it goes out beyond your template of 6 centimetres, okay? And then, I'll take this off because I've got one I've made earlier, a bit of blue Peter here, okay? Can you see how I've basically indented around? And I did that by just placing that over there and stabbed around the edge. Just took my needle, went round the edge, so that I've then got a very clear, okay? So this is where you're going to help yourself to get cleaner edges, because now just by folding in where you've stabbed around and then collating it into the middle and then just stabbing it into the center, you will then have a much cleaner edge to carry on with. That makes sense? Hope so. And so then you can just make it as thick or not as you want to, obviously lifting it off. And as I was saying before, then you lift that off, and then it's nice and easy to lift off of the cloth, felt, whatever it is that you're using. So then you can do that for all 3, and then you've got your 3 sizes. It actually says in the instructions to make your 1 column, and to do that by rolling it up and stabbing it until it's strong enough to actually hold itself up. Now, hopefully we can all do that without too much problem. But if that is a real struggle for you to get something, fairly smallish to be substantial, you could use a pipe cleaner. The only issues, there are pluses and minuses for everything. And the only issue with the pipe cleaner is then you're going to have to avoid the bit of metal in the center. But if that's an easier way for you to wrap around and then felt that so that you've got that nice strong center, then by all means do that. But hopefully it won't take that much felting to actually get your column so it actually stands up by itself. Great. Now then, the instructions tell you about making the piping. And as I showed before, can't remember which day, it was the drumsticks. I'll look that up just to save you going back. Day 9. So if you want to look at day 9's video, I did it in day 9's video using the felting needle. Today, I'm going to do it using my version of a cocktail stick, because it can be quite, well, I obviously use a mean cocktail stick. If you haven't got any, just tell your partner that you've got to go out for cocktails because Steph said so, because you need some for felting. I think it's a perfectly legitimate thing to do. It's Christmas. Okay, so anyway, so I thought I'll show you with something slightly different and also left-handed. Because last time I showed you holding it in your left hand and then using your dominant hand to wrap. And this time I shall show you holding it in your right hand with, if your left hand is your hand, that will be your dominant hand to wrap. Personally, for some, because I was taught to needle felt by a left-handed person, I guess, I naturally gravitate to this way round. So whichever way, give it a go either way and see which way works. Now, something I didn't mention last time, which actually, I guess it might make the difference between it feeling a bit awkward or not, is, and it might help if I go around this way, I think. Okay, so when you've got it, have the wall go behind. So you're holding it on top and you're taking it over and behind, so that when you're wrapping, you're bringing it up the front and round and over. Okay, let me do that again. Up, underneath, over, underneath, over. Okay, it seems to give you more control, because I guess you get it to the sort of holding position like that there, rather than going over, rather than bringing it the other way, where I don't know, for some reason it just doesn't quite feel the same. So, you know, you may not notice any difference, and that's fine, but perhaps if you had a bit of trouble before, definitely try it that way around, so that you're going over, under, okay, and not under, over. So over, under. I won't go into, it seems silly to do it both ways here, because it's kind of irrelevant to show you the wrong way, isn't it? Okay, so, and the other thing is, as you can see, this is definitely ribbon-esque. So when you're taking, I mean, obviously you've got larger pieces, but I've got a smaller piece here. So when you're pulling it out, just ease out a piece and then make sure you're leaving it flat, so that it's more ribbon-esque than it is like a thread. Because if you do it like a thread, you'll just get like a ribbing effect, which you don't really want. Okay, let's wrap that around there again. So yeah, so there we go. So we're going under, we're going over, under, over, under, over, and I'm holding it so that it's not tight, but it is taut. Okay, there we go. And you can keep on going. I mean, if you've got a longer stick than I have here, you can just keep on going, but always come back up again. Always come back up again. And then just stop whenever it stops. It may be it's not completely even. Let's not worry about that. And then just roll it in your hands. Okay, and you're felting it, because the warmth of your hands, and you're agitating it enough to just do a very light felt. Obviously, I didn't felt right at the very top here, just where I did there, so I could actually put that round and do that bit down there if I wanted to. Just give that bit extra in, okay? And you can just take that off. And there you have enough of a sausage. Now, definitely still put that down and have a little bit of a felting of it, just to make it a bit more substantial. But even in that state, I should be able to extend it without it falling to bits. So that's without me having done any stabbing at all. I can just extend that out. Okay. So if you think, oh, I've done that a bit thick, you know, give it a good rub and then should be good. And then just say, all the instructions are there anywhere. These are just like added me showing you really what I'm telling you to do in the instructions. So, and then it's just a case, I say just a case of piecing it all together. But so you've got your little one underneath, which makes your base, or your medium underneath base, then your big one, and then your little one at the top. Your added little handle, which is also made out of the little sausage shape. And then you make your little candle just by, once again, either wrapping round a stick or rolling and doing and adding your little flame in the top. And when you've added your bit in the top, just twiddle that little bit at the top, which felts that together, which gives that kind of flame. Where's it better? So yeah, gives you that kind of flame. And I added just a little tiny bit of red in there. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably too tiny to show up. But I added a little bit of red there just to give it an extra bit of, flow, as it were. So, yeah. There we go. We have a candlestick. Fabulous. So looking forward to seeing those. And in fact, because we're now on day 21, there's just one more project to go, which I did have a peek at. Obviously not telling you anything about it, which I did have a peek at, but I love it. And I'm sure you're going to be very excited when you get there too. And I hope to actually piece all of my bits together and put them in all the wreaths that I've got. So I will come on, hopefully on the last day, and show you all my wreaths and how I've put all of the pieces from all of the projects in the kit together. So I shall have to work on that tomorrow. Or just show you some pictures in the group. I didn't have to come on and do it here, but just put some pictures in the group to show how I've collated the pieces in my wreaths as my decorations. Because we know definitely now we are going to be here for Christmas Day. So these will be my Christmas decorations, which is fantastic. So looking forward to showing you those. So yes, I think that's it. Oh, I was going to show you my I don't know if you remember, there was a certain video I seem to recall where a certain gentleman was in a meeting and he used his Zoom, and I think his little daughter had used it before and had set one of these avatars off. Oh, now I did think I might have a nicer background than that, but I should have really put this on the day of the polar bear, shouldn't I? There you go. So move that little window out the way. Yes. So really I should have put this on when we did the polar bear earlier on in the kit. So yeah, this is cute, isn't it? Anyway, so I quite like this being a polar bear. It's cute. Anyway, I will see you in the group, but if I don't see you before, have a marvellous Christmas. And personally, I'm really looking forward to day 23, Nicki's project. So yeah, love to see all those as well. But for now, that's me done. And looking forward to seeing your candlesticks. Bye, bye, bye.
Hi everyone, 23, it's my last project. I'm a little sad actually, last project for this year. Now I had to because it's quite hard to do this one-handed. So, yes, little donkey. So in your envelope you should have, it's the string and some eyes. And also the pipe cleaner to make this little guy. He's such a cutie. He's great actually. You can sit him on a shelf, you don't need to hang him up, but this is such a good way of doing a lot of different animals actually. But my tips are, make sure you make the sockets first to put the eyes into, and the string felts really easily into the body for his little arms and legs. Sorry that I haven't got more of a instructions there, but I've shut up shop for the year. My desk is actually quite clear for once. But I really hope you enjoy making this guy. He's such a cutie. And I hope you've enjoyed this Advent. It's been a lot of fun, and my mind is already ticking for next year's. So have a fabulous Christmas. Bye.
So very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year when it comes from me and all of the team at the Crafty Company. Have a great time.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for all the lovely comments. And I loved seeing all your makes, especially the little personal twists on all of them. Have a fabulous time, and we'll see you in the new year. Bye.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. It has been a delight for me to be a part of the Advent Kit and to pop on and share my makes with you, and also to see your makes and all your individual makes. That's just been amazing to see, and I love it. And so I wish you all a fabulous Christmas, an even better New Year. And if I don't see you between Christmas and New Year, I will certainly see you in the New Year. So happy felting.